welcome to Learn Extra Live Grade 11s. As you know, this is Life Sciences. I'm Katleho and this is Llewellyn.
Hello.
How are you, Llewellyn?
Right in yourself?
Are you good?
Not too bad.
That's
It's been a long
great.
day.
That's long day?
Long
well,
day.
Here's for energy. Whoop, whoop. That's the
Stupid
energy.
joke.
What are we doing today?
Body plans.
Body plans.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we're going to
Tell us
carry on.
more.
We've been doing it for, this is the third week now
Okay.
already. So hopefully the guys are here and they can remember
Yeah.
what I've done.
Okay, that's exciting. You can go over to the
Cool.
board. So as you guys know, that is body plans. You have been doing it for the past 2 weeks. So if if you're one of those that have been joining us since the first time, this is the third week and it should get more exciting from here, as you already know that. So of course, you know, facebook.com/learn extra, where you can ask anything, say anything, make any comments, post any photos, anything that you wish to do today. The page is open for you. We also have our Twitter handle @learn extra, where you can also post questions or anything that you want to. Remember that on Facebook, don't inbox, guys. Put it right on the page so that I can see it and everyone else can see it, so that if they want to help you, they can help you. And in case I miss the inbox, I can catch it right away if you put it right on the page. Over to you, Llewellyn.
Thanks, Kat. Well, good evening, guys. Hopefully you're ready to work, and hopefully you can remember what we've been doing for the last 3 weeks, and remember all the big words. Now, last week, I got to the end piece, which was round worms, right? And round, or should I say segmented worms. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to start from there, because I promised you I would. And we're going to go through it and actually go as far as possible. Now, when we did it, we ended off with the flat worms, and we spoke about all of them. We're going to start off with, let's get it going. There we go. It's called your annelids. Now, guys, you cannot tell me. Now, I know last week we spoke about beautiful, but you can't tell me that is not gorgeous. Just have a look at them, right? The colors, the type of species it is, it's beautiful. You know, that's what's so nice about going through your file, is you actually see how beautiful things actually are, right? So I want you to have a good look, and I want you to enjoy. Now, I know you've seen this thing before, right? This is what you get when you fishermen and you use earthworms. Well, they used to use earthworms, and these are the things that when you were younger, the little boys used to grab out of the ground and chase the little girls with it, and until the one day the girl turns around and chases them back with it. But it's not the point, right? You got your gorgeous worms, you got your normal, plain, simple worms. Okay, so let us get started. We are doing annelids. Okay, the annelids. That is segmented worms, right? It's exactly what it is. Segmented is different sections. Okay, so most of them are marine, are your marine worms. Okay, you do get the ones that live on Earth, but they are all a lot of them are your marine worms, right? You get your annelids, which are your annelids that come from the ground or from the earth, and that is called your leeches and your earthworms, which you will notice your leeches you normally find in your dams and that, right? So you do get the ones that are in the water there, but most of them are marine, in other words, salt water, right? Now, the body plans of them, okay? The most important thing to remember, they are segmented. In other words, they have sections. Now, if you had a look at, let me just go back to the last one. It's nice and easy to see on the, no, maybe not that nice on the earthworm, but let's see where I can find it. There we go. Look at this one over here. You can actually see, look at all the different little segments over there, right? That is why they're called segmented worms. You actually see the different sections or segments of each worm, which is cool, right? It's always nice to see something different. We've been looking at all the plain stuff and the not so cool, and then we start getting into the lacquer things now, right? The nice things that's going to keep us going, right? And now we come to those big words again. Now, remember we've been talking about the symmetry, right? These things are bilaterally symmetrical. In other words, you can cut them down the middle. It's very nice. Looks exactly the same on the left as on the right. So don't forget, bisymmetrical, right? It has a coelom. Can you all remember what a coelom is? Right? It's a bag inside filled with liquid, right? And it's between the endodermis or the gut, right? And the mesoderm, right? which is nice. It's there where your organs hang around in, But there is a layer, like a, what do you call it, the bag actually goes around this organ, right? It's got a layer, it's got a film around it, okay? It's got a lining, in other words. There it is. The coelom lined the mesoderm. Right, so I'm giving you nice information. You should remember what these big words are. The mesoderm, remember, you get the ectoderm, which is the outside. You get the endoderm, which is the inside. And the piece in the middle is called your mesoderm, which is cool, right? You get your mesoderm. Here's a nice big word for you, okay? You get your hydrostatic skeleton. Hydrostatic skeleton. Kat, do you know what that means?
No clue.
Okay, hydrostatic means hydro. It's that stuff that we like drinking. Do you know what that is? Water, very nice. We've got the water. Hydrostatic is water. So they try and make it as easy as possible. Hydrostatic, water, and skeleton, for me and you, is bones, right? The inside stuff that everything's joined to. So Mr. Skeleton Man, right? Hydrostatic skeleton, and I'm going to explain to you in 2 seconds how that actually works, okay? Then, as I said, it's segmented, makes it very, very important. Now, each segment of this worm actually works individually to each other, okay? Now, if I had to draw it here, you would get me and this side of the board. Never work. Come on. Okay, that's never going to erase. Let me try it again. There it is. There's the one section. Then you get the next section, and you get the next section. Now, each one of these sections, you won't believe it, but it actually has, it gets rid of waste products in that all by itself, which is quite cool, even though it's got a through gut. Can you remember what a through gut means? It means it's got a mouth on the one side, it's got an anus on the bottom, so it goes through, and each section gets its thing. But it does like its gaseous exchange, and you know what gaseous exchange is? It's where we get rid of all the gases that it needs, right? So it gets rid of all of this. So this works independently from each other. This works independently from this one, and this one works independently from that one. Okay, so it's a nice thing. It's quite complicated, but it's cool, right? Nice. And then, can you remember this big word? I'm actually going to throw it out to Kat in a few seconds, so don't stress, right? That word, cephalization, right? Can you remember? Not civilization. Kat, can you give me what that means?
Civilization.
No, cephalization.
Civilization, no, not yet. But after you tell me, I'll be able to tell you.
She's very clever. Cephalization means that the nerves, there's a lot of nerves together in a common point, all together. Remember? That is cephalization. It is almost like a brain. So all your nerve endings and all your nerves and that come to one specific part, and that there is called cephalization, right? So this is where you start getting things like a brain. I don't know if I'm going to say that right, but a brain, okay? Now, that's where all your nerves come together, and we're making a brain. Cool? Then you get your anterior contains a brain. So I put that there as a brain because it's going to make you remember it, right? So the front of it has got a brain, and the back has got something else. Not a brain.
Not a brain, the opposite.
It's opposite to a brain. So the through gut, you got the mouth, and you got the end piece, or the anterior end, which is where your anus is, and that is, right? Where it gets rid of the waste product, okay? These things, before I go all the way, these things are streamlined. Now, if you think about it, right, your earthworm, it's nice and thin, and it's streamlined. It starts as a point, and it gets a bit fatter, and it goes all the way to the end, and it goes to a point again, right? That's how this thing works. It's streamlined. It's like a fast car or a bike or something, you know? It's streamlined. It's beautiful. Okay, and another nice thing about this is it's got no sense, your prominent sense organs, right? The sense organs don't come out like sticking out of its head. I mean, it's not going to be able to burrow in the ground. If it's got these sense organs on the top of its head that's protruding and all over the place, it's not going to go very far, right? So they make sure that everything's on the inside. Okay, now what I've done is, I didn't do it, but I found it, right? I took a earthworm and I cut it in half, right? So if the earthworm is like that, right? I'm going to take it like this and I'm going to cut it in half. And the piece that's on that side, I'm going to stand like this and I'm going to show you from the front. Okay? So if I move this down, this earthworm is coming from the back of the board and it's coming through towards you. So that's a piece, and I cut it down the middle, and now we've seen it. Okay? Now, I was telling you about this thing called hydrostatic skeleton. Okay, now this part here, oh, that's not going to work. That looks terrible. Okay, that piece there, okay, has got, can you remember what that name is? Okay, that piece there has got your coelom in it, right? So that will give you, it's filled with water. All of this is filled with a liquid, right? And this liquid, okay, it gives this animal some hard stuff inside, like something physically and hard. And it actually pushes the skin, which is this piece, it pushes this piece out into the open, right? So it pushes it away, and if it pushes it away, it makes it nice and firm, like a jumping castle. Without the air inside a jumping castle, right, this thing is flat. The minute you fill it with air, what does it do? We can jump on it and go crazy, like us youngsters, that includes me, us youngsters and Kat,
Oh, okay.
right? Jumping on a jumping castle, we can jump on it. There's air in the inside, that's got a skeleton. Its air is its skeleton. This thing, water, is its skeleton, which is quite nice, right? So this is the whole piece we're looking at. Okay, this is hydrostatic skeleton, right? If we carry on, okay, well, before we carry on, I want you to get to this. This part, this end piece after the hydrostatic skeleton, right? I've explained this to you. I want you to remember that as we're going through, we're getting more and more and more difficult. Okay, it's becoming more and more difficult all the time. These animals are becoming more and more complex, right? So just remember that. The next one that we're going to talk about, okay, is your arthropoda. Okay, now, I don't know what cats like, but I like these type of things, right?
Whoa,
Cat,
that
can you
is
see it?
Scary. No, I'm not looking.
That is a
I am not
spider. Look
looking.
at the size
No,
of that spider.
thank
It is
you.
huge. Right, that's the size of a man's face.
Hey, that is disgusting.
This is arthropoda, right? These are the cool things. Now, you get a certain amount of arthropoda, and they're classified in different things, right? But we're going to start doing it slowly but surely. So, we have spiders. That's one of them, okay? The next one, there we go. I'm going to leave that. Okay, can you think of a name? I know you guys are coming with centipede and millipede and things like that. So, yes, that is a centipede, right? Cool. Let's carry on. Think what that is? It's a crab. Cool. We got a crab. So, crab is another type. And then the last one we're looking at, okay, is an insect. Insect. Yeah, I can see you crawling there all the time. Your skin crawling.
Yeah,
it
is
becomes. I
disgusting.
love these things because you can find them in your garden. So you can actually go out and actually have a look. Well, not all gardens. You're not going to find certain things in the garden, but you can go out and have so much fun by having a look at this. Please do not kill the animal. If you are scared of spiders, get somebody to help you. If you're scared of anything like this, let's have people try and take them out, catch them and take them outside, let them live. I know a good friend of mine that is so scared of this. It's so scary. I mean, it's a what is this thing called again? Springcon.
I don't know. It's disgusting.
Grasshopper.
They're
There we
called
go. Grasshopper, right? He's so scared of it, it's ridiculous. But it's unbelievable. But these are the nice pictures. So we're going to start off and I can explain each and every one in more detail. Right, so let's start with the first one. The first one we're going to start with, right, is, wait, before we start, I'm going to tell you, you got your spiders, insects, crabs, and your myriapoda. What is a myriapoda? Now, this is the first one I didn't mention, right? And this first one I haven't mentioned. There's two types, and that's why I only showed you one picture of the one type. Okay, but we'll get to them. Now, they are the largest number of individuals on Earth, right? There is lots of them. Now remember I said insects. There's a fact that says if I took all the elephants in the world, in South Africa, and I weighed them, and I took all the ants in the world, and I weighed them, the ants would be heavier. That's how
Wow,
many
that's
there are.
interesting. Yeah.
Unbelievable, right? They also eat the most food. They eat the most food, which is crazy. I mean, these things don't stop eating, okay? So they eat the most food, okay? They're found in most habitats. So all over, they're found in all the different habitats we can think of. They are found in them, right? Which is cool. These are unbelievable. Okay, now, before we get to all of them, things that they all have in common. Remember, as we're increasing in our complexity of this animal, right, we start looking at, we went from asymmetrical, then we went to radial symmetrical, right? Can you all remember these words? Then you went to bisymmetrical. So bisymmetrical is a more complex one, okay? So there it is, bisymmetrical, okay? This thing does not have a hydroskeleton. It's not worried about water on the inside. We need to get another type of skeleton, okay? Does not have a hydroskeleton. It's got a different one, okay? Now we start looking at the skeletons on the outside. So it has an outside, which means exit. So it's an exoskeleton. Okay, now this word here. Now, you might hear it different from your teacher. A lot of people say it differently, but I always call it chitin, right? The nice way of calling it chitin is that you can remember how to spell it, right? So chitin, that is a type of material that gives them, it's like having an armors on you. You know, like in the old days where you had armor and all of that, that's steel armor. Now, instead of having it made out of steel, it's made out of a certain chemical formula called chitin, okay? Next thing, it's a true cephalization. True cephalization means you can actually see where all these nerves and that are going to the end, right? It's all going to a specific point, which is cool, right? All to the top, doesn't go all to the, it's not all over the place. It's found in one specific part, and then it moves along to other places, right? Specialized sense organs, okay? Sorry, I went all the way to the wrong side. Specialized sense organs. Now, specialized sense organs, if you think about it, smell. Okay, that's a sense organ. Touch, that's a sense organ. So it's got all the different feeling things, right? Which, if you look at, is very good. It's more complex. The more complex something becomes, the better it is. Okay, so this is what I'm having a look at. Arthropods, these are the main things. This is what all arthropods have in common. Okay, now, before we go into which arthropod is where and how we find them and what they look like, okay, we are going for a break. But during the break, please send me some questions, right? I only know if you understand this if you let me know you understand it. And if you don't understand something, we need to fix it as quick as possible. Okay, Kat, all yours.
Thank you. That is very true, guys. You heard correctly. If you are confused about something or something just isn't sitting well, this is the right time to send in any questions that you may have. And I mean anything. See you right now.